Hi. So to start off, the main counseling skill that I noticed was listening, and I also noticed how the counselor really listened with their body language, with maintaining eye contact with the client as well as the nodding and the hand gestures. It really showed that the counselor was fully engaged in what the client was saying and into the session as a whole. And I think reflective feelings, reflective statements are a form of that listening. It really shows the client that you are trying to fully understand everything that they're saying and that you're hearing everything that they're saying. And also, I really like reflective statements because I believe that on the client's end, it helps to verify what they're feeling. It shows them from a third party exactly what they said, but in different words. So it really helps them to gain perspective on what they're seeing, and in result help them, guide themselves to the solution by maintaining that mindful attitude as well. Also, I noticed that the whole demeanor of the counselor is a skill in itself. It's the calmness and the peacefulness that the counselor maintains with the client. It really creates a very comfortable atmosphere for the client. And also, I found it very interesting that the counselors, they didn't show any emotion, any judgment, any shock, any surprise, or, really any emotion. Their face was blank. I think the only emotion that they showed was empathy. They showed an understanding by the nodding and kind of a genuine face, if you will. And I found that really interesting. I think that's a very important skill for a counselor to have, is to be able to control your emotion, control your internal bias, and be able to create that comfortable environment for the client where they feel that they can open up and really say what they need to say. And in regards to the second question, I believe that when people think of counseling, they kind of imagine a scenario where there's a counselor giving advice and helping guide a client and doing most of the talking. But in these sessions, you'll see that it was the client that did 90% of the talking. Really, the counselor helped reflect on what they were saying, as well as guided them with open-ended questions, trying to get as much information, which is another skill of counseling, the open-ended questions, really getting as much information from the client as you can to really gain that full understanding. But I think it's really interesting how in reality, the client does most of the talking, is really controlling the session. They're guiding themselves. The counselor, at the beginning even lets them start wherever they feel comfortable, wherever they want to start. So I think that is one of the misconceptions about counseling, and I found it really interesting, and you can see in these sessions that it's really the client that really controls each session, which makes counseling an art because you have to tailor it to each client. So yeah, that's pretty much an overall. I really enjoyed these videos, and I really love the idea of reflective feelings and reflective statements. I think overall it just has such a positive impact for the client, and I hope to utilize that when I become a counselor. All right, thanks.